and Namaskar. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Indian-American astronaut Sunitha Williams, marking a significant milestone in space. Sunitha Williams and Butch Wilmore are all set to launch in space. This is Sunitha Williams' third space mission. Providing us a detailed view of this space mission, we have with us our science expert, Dr. Devashish. Hello and welcome to our space segment. Kindly walk us through the details of this space mission. Is it coming up as a big news story for us?
Indeed. Thank you, Simran, for inviting me. And yes, you rightly said that this mission will be marked as one of the greatest missions in the history of NASA. The spacecraft will take off soon and will stay there for approximately 3 months.
Bhaiya, I have a question. When I am throwing this ball towards the sky, so it's coming down. So how these people stay in the space for so many days? Wouldn't the aircraft fall from the space?
No, it is because of gravitation. Our teacher told us this story. Once, Newton was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his head. Influenced by this incident, he realized that every object in the universe applies attractive force on every other object. Did you get it? Now shall we go out to play?
Bhaiya, I have a question. What is force?
Okay, think of it as push or pull acting on an object. Gravitational force acts between any two objects in the universe.
But it cannot be true
Why do you think so?
because this ball is not pulling the floor.
See, the earth is much heavier than your ball. Though it pulls your ball, it does not move towards your ball.
I'm getting it, but I still have a question. Are sun and moon also pulling my ball?
Yes, as I said, every object in the universe pulls every other object in the universe.
So why it is not going to sun?
Okay, see, the sun is too far from the earth. It must be related to distance. The gravitational force between distant objects are less, and when they are near, it is more. I am also curious to know how distance, mass, and force are related. First, I will ask my teacher, and then I will tell you. Now let's go.
Okay.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you all?
Fine, ma'am.
So, yesterday we were doing the third law of motion. Do you remember?
Ma'am, yesterday my sister, while playing with a ball, asked me some questions related to gravitation. Even though I could figure out gravitational pull, mass, and distance are related, I am curious to know how they are related.
Well, I think someone is thinking like a scientist now. Children, do you know that when objects fall towards the earth, or moon revolving around the earth, or the planets revolving around the sun, there is one force which is governing all these motions, and that is the gravitational force. And to understand more about it, I will have to take you back into history. There was a scientist, his name was Johannes Kepler, and in the 16th century, he gave us 3 laws of planetary motion. And of course, you all know about Sir Isaac Newton when he was sitting under the tree and an apple fell on his head. And he could figure out that all these motions are because of the force, and that force is gravitational force. And that force is also attractive in nature. So he gave us the universal law of gravitation, based on actually the 3 laws of planetary motion which were given by Johannes Kepler. So let us understand what is the universal law of gravitation. So students, I have taken 2 objects which are spherical in nature. After finding out the center of both the objects, I am going to join these 2 dots, actually the center of both the objects, with a straight line, and this line segment which I have got right now, I am going to name this line segment as D. So what is D? D is denoting the distance between the centers of both the objects. So the force as given by the universal law of gravitation is that the force acting between both the objects is directly proportional to the product of these 2 masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the centers of both the objects. I will just repeat it. Newton's law of gravitation states that force of gravitation between both the objects is directly proportional to the product of the masses of both the objects and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. Now, when I join these 2 equations, children, I get an equation which is force proportional to m1 m2 divided by d square. Now, I have a question for all of you. Listen carefully. What is going to happen if I am going to take this mass m2 very far from m1, which means I am going to increase the distance between m1 and m2. What do you think will happen to the force of gravitation? Will it increase? Will it decrease? Will it remain the same? Or probably will it become 0?
Mom, may I answer?
Yes, Mihir.
Mom, it will decrease.
Well, are you sure about it?
Yes, Mom.
Do you think Mihir is right? Yes, absolutely, he is right. Do you know why? Can anyone explain why will the force of gravitation decrease?
Ma'am, because gravitational forces and distance between 2 objects are inversely proportional. So when the distance doubles, the gravitational force will become less between the objects.
Absolutely right. I think he has just nailed it by saying that force and distance are inversely proportional to each other. So if this distance is going to increase, the force is going to decrease. Let me also tell you that there was a scientist. His name was Henry Cavendish. Henry Cavendish set up an experiment and gave us the value of a constant. That constant is known as the gravitational constant and is denoted by G. So G is known as the universal gravitational constant. Can anyone tell me what will be the value of G? Well, let me tell you. The value of G after experiments was found out to be 6.673 into 10 raised to power minus 11 with some units, of course, that you are going to tell me. What do you think will be the units of capital G?
Mom, what is the difference between capital G and small g?
Ma'am, can I answer this one?
Please.
Ma'am, small g is acceleration due to gravity, where capital G is gravitational constant, and also the unit for G and capital G are different.
Very well done. Let's understand this. G and small g are absolutely different. Small g is acceleration due to gravity, whereas capital G is universal gravitational constant. You very rightly mentioned that the units for small g. What are the units for small g, by the way?
Ma'am, the unit for small g is same as acceleration, meter per second square.
Yes, absolutely right. The units for small g are going to be meter per second square, because small g is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. However, capital G comes from which formula? Capital G comes from the formula F equals G m1 m2 upon d square. Well, can you tell me what would be the units for capital G?
Then the unit for capital G is Newton meter square per kg square.
Yes. Why? Because what are the units for force? Everybody.
Newton.
What is the unit for mass? kg. And what is the SI unit for distance? Meters. So what will be the unit for capital G? It will be Newton meter square per kg square. Now let us use this understanding to calculate the force between two objects when I twist some questions for you. Are you all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I have two objects. The mass of both the objects is m, separated by a distance d. Now, tell me what is going to happen if this body has a mass of 4m and this body remains at m. Should we do it together in the class?
Yes,
And then the
ma'am.
rest of the questions I am going to give you as homework. Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so what is the formula? F equals G m1 m2 upon d square. But now what are the masses? It's m 4m upon d square. Do you know what is going to happen next? I'm going to bring this 4 outside. What will be the answer? 4g m square upon d square. So what do you infer from this answer? Let me tell you. When the mass becomes 4 times, the force of gravitation also becomes 4 times. Very well done. Are we ready to do one more question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you understood the question? The question says that both the masses are the same, but the distance is reduced 4 times. That means what is happening? Both the masses are coming closer together. I know that you all know what is going to happen, but let us see how mathematically our result is going to change. So in place of m1, I am going to put m. In place of m2, I am going to put m. But in place of d, I am going to put d by 4 whole square. And when I calculate, my answer will become 16g m square by d square. What does that mean? It means that force has increased by how many times? 16 times. The distance was reduced by
4 times.
But the force increased by
16 times.
So are you all ready to do some questions at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good class. And actually I should give you one more homework. Why don't you find out the force of gravitation between yourself and your partner? Also, you can find out the force of gravitation between Sun and all the other planets. And then tomorrow you can tell me the force of gravitation is maximum for which planet because of Sun. Is it the planet which is nearest to Sun, or is it the planet which is farthest to the Sun? Should we now continue with the Newton's third law of motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
With a spark of curiosity in his eyes, Roshan was excited to leave classroom, eager to share his newfound excitement with his sister, knowing that the journey of discovery was just beginning.